Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Big news in northern Nevada about economic diversification. We'll have the story, plus an interim school superintendent who appears to be very popular. Ray Hagar has the rundown.
Walmart is bringing a huge distribution center to Storey County. Today we'll talk to developer Lance Gilman and Commissioner Hess about that. On to education. They call him the fireman. Ever since Paul Dugan has taken over as superintendent of Washoe schools, he's done nothing but put out fires. Sam?
And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Jason Geddes, Bob Crowell, and Ray Bacon. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
If you think Wells Fargo is only checking accounts, you're not seeing the whole picture. Online brokerage, mutual funds, mortgages, and home equity accounts. So get more than free checking and start reaching your goals today. Now you get the picture. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
When you need a new employee, how can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
It's the next best thing to having your own wine cellar. Come to the Bonanza Casino for a first and fine dining, reasonably priced wines. When you dine at Cactus Creek Southwestern Steakhouse, you can also enjoy a fine bottle of wine at just about the same price you'd pay at the Vineyard, Silver Oak, Robert Mondavi, Rombauer, Cakebread, Jordan, and Duckhorn, just to name a few. And at the lowest prices of any restaurant or casino in Northern Nevada. And remember, all fine wines are not in wine cellars. They're in the Cactus Creek at the Bonanza Casino, where locals come to play.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
Last week, the press releases came out that said that Walmart was going to put a distribution center in Storey County in the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. That is big news for Northern Nevada, and we have two guests here to talk about that. Lance Gilman, who's partner in the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, and Greg Hess, Storey County Commissioner. Welcome to both of you.
Good morning, Sam. Nice to be here.
Explain to the public just how big of a deal this is for Northern Nevada.
Oh, it's a monumental deal for Northern Nevada. We're hosting the largest retailer in the world, and they are building a 1 million square foot facility, 100-foot clear height inside, 1,200 trucks a day in and out, just a mega operation. And of course, that's going to attract all of their suppliers and all their support staff. Bum was telling me they're figuring between, probably 3 to 6 million additional fee. So, big company draw, and certainly represents a feather in our cap. They've looked at Northern Nevada and Storey County for 2 years.
Okay, we've got maps here of both the area that the park is located in and the park itself. We'll put those up. When you see a company like this coming into your industrial center, how much do you think this is going to impact Northern Nevada in terms of jobs, for example? I mean, I've been hearing quotes of like up to 500 jobs in the center.
Oh, just the company alone will deliver 500 to 700 jobs. I think they're going to start at 500, but then you bring in all this support and all the other distributors and packagers and labelers and everyone that comes in and needs to be close to this mega company. We're going to see a tremendous growth in quality jobs, quality companies.
Okay, how much did you and your partner, Roger Norman, sink into this thing before the deal was even signed for infrastructure?
Well, we are sitting before Walmart at about $50 to $54 million in infrastructure out of pocket, and that's hard, write the checks. We're going to generate another 15 to 16 million immediately to accommodate all of the oversized infrastructure. We're going to extend the freeway another 3 miles. We're improving the sewer treatment plant and expanding. All of the infrastructure has to be expanded, so it's a major undertaking.
Okay, with 1,200 trucks a day coming in and out of that park, what kind of impact is this going to have on Storey County?
Well, nothing but a positive impact. With that USA Parkway going in there, you know, we plan on aligning that parkway with industrial facilities there. And as Lance pointed out, it's been 2 years in the making for this Walmart project, and so we've planned along the way to handle the traffic that's going to come in there. And we're going to get a lot more traffic coming through there because we're going to have a lot more buildings that are going to come along with Walmart.
Lance, are you looking for help from the state in any way?
Actually, the governor's office has been tremendously instrumental in helping Northern Nevada land this company. My hat's off to Kenny Gwynn. And absolutely, we're building a new interchange at the Tracy Clark, and the state has been, and the governor's office primarily, instrumental in helping us line that up.
Okay, now within the park itself, now not too many people know this. I've been out there with you and taken a tour. You have an incredible infrastructure as far as power, as far as phone and audio-video capabilities out there. Explain briefly some of that stuff.
Oversized utilities throughout. We have 5 power plants either on site. These are generating plants, not something we have to import power. They're literally there. You've got Tracy Clark and the Pinyon Pine, and Barrick Gold is underway with their new one, and Morgan Stanley is out there with a Nanawa plant. Lots of power and oversized, and then lots of gas comes in to drive all that, so we have high pressure gas running throughout, and then we have a tremendous water system all underground. We don't use Truckee River water, so tremendous water. We've built a $12 million sewer treatment plant that's state-of-the-art. We have a dam with a 100 service acre lake built out there that holds all the treated water so that we can recirculate it for landscape and multiple uses. The infrastructure is incredible. You'd have to spend some good time with me to understand all of it.
Okay, what kind of effort did it take on Storey County's part to support this project? And 2 years of secrecy beyond anything else.
Oh, that was probably the hardest part, is the 2 years of secrecy. Being from a small town, that's really hard to do. But I think that was the biggest deal, and you know, the county really kind of rose to the occasion. I can't give enough credit to our planning and building administrator, Dean Haymore, who sat on this for 2 years, not telling anybody who it was, and went through just a ton of engineering programs to help these people come into the park there, and as well as Mr. Gwen and Lorraine Hunt did a great job on it. The county people that Walmart dealt with on this were sworn to secrecy during the whole deal, which was really hard because everybody in the county is waiting for this park to really take off. And you know, when people say, well, what's happening with the park? Nothing's going on. And we knew Walmart was right around the corner. It was pretty hard for us to bite our tongue and not let anybody know that they were coming in. But this is just a project that we've been waiting for the whole time with TRI, and we finally got it. And I don't think there's enough credit that's given to Lance and Roger either. Everybody brought them to the table, but these guys had to make the deal, so they certainly deserve a lot of credit as well.
500 to 700 jobs in a marketplace that has 3% unemployment. Where are they going to find the people to be able to staff this? Is it going to be people coming from outside now?
We'll see an inflow from outside market, absolutely. The jobs are excellent. They're offering 401ks and participation in the companies, wonderful benefits. I think we'll start seeing a realignment. Maybe some of the gaming, we're softening. Some of those jobs are opening up, and all of a sudden we'll be able to transfer. We're going to be offering the kind of benefits now that gaming has offered for years, so all of a sudden there's a lot of attractive reasons to stay close.
You have a very successful business park in South Meadows that you just sold the last piece of land on. and many years ahead of schedule, just a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
Do you think now that this park is taking off the way you had anticipated?
Absolutely. It was delayed a couple of years. None of us could foresee 9/11 and the impacts to the national economy, world economy, as a matter of fact. So we're probably 24 months behind schedule, but it's dramatically improving. Although we have to give a lot of credit for what's out there right now. Hardy Building Products just completed a 500,000 square foot facility on a 50-acre site. They're employing 600 people in that facility, and it's a manufacturing job base. And then you got companies out there like Calcan and Dell Computer and Royal Extrusions and lots and lots of activity. It just hasn't been on the front page. We've been very quietly pedaling as fast as we can.
And now it is on the front page, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here, and congratulations. I think champagne is in order.
That's right.
We'll be right
Thank
back
you.
on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Sunbelt Communication.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Ken Dillon, owner of Van Dyne Roofing, can get it fixed with his eyes closed.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
Oh, you bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, we welcome Paul Dugan here. He's the interim superintendent for the Washoe County School District.
Paul, good to be here. You know, since you've been taken over the job in June, you've had several maybe racial and cultural controversies spring up on you. Recently, you had to pull down a Nazi flag at one of the local middle schools. You've had a Muslim girl has filed suit against the district for racial discrimination. You've had unrest at Hug High School between Hispanics and blacks, and one time you've had 60 broken windows in that school. So is this healing the wounds, perhaps? Is this one of your top jobs as the administrator, top administrator?
Well, Ray, you mentioned several issues there. The issue at Hug, I think, is separate from what we're dealing with regards to the flag, the swastika flag, and the issue with the Muslim girl. The issue at Hug, I don't think is a fire that's burning. The issue at Hug is a systemic one that has existed for a number of years that we need to deal with. Mm-hmm. But with regards to those other two, those really were what I would consider fires that need to be addressed. The flag, with the incident at Pine Middle School, I do not in any way believe it was representative of any racial or religious hatred. It was an attempt to teach what went on, and of course, I believe that the flag was up too long, but there was no issue there, in my opinion, that is a burning issue, that is something that we as a district have to worry about with regards to that particular incident. And then with regards to the Muslim issue, certainly with the number of different nationalities and different cultures that we have, we always have to be sensitive to that. It's much different now than it was in the past.
Okay.
How do you differentiate yourself from your predecessors in this position? And you are running for the job. You've got your hat in the ring.
I am. I think, you know, I don't want to compare myself to those before me, but certainly my main difference is that I've been in this district for 22 years. This is my home. I've been a part of Washoe County leadership team at the top level for the last 7 years. So I have, I believe, a really strong knowledge of the district, but more importantly, I have a real passion for the community and for the students of Washoe County. My son was a product of Washoe County School District, and I think highly of it.
You know, Paul, one of the things that I see that you're different than your predecessors is that you're getting out in the community. You're like sticking your head into the mouth of the lion on a lot of these things, and you're getting good grades for it. Minority leaders in our community want you as the new superintendent. Now, tomorrow night, trustees could appoint you as the superintendent. Do you think that, what are the possibilities, the chances of that happening?
50-50. I don't know, and I certainly don't want to campaign for the position. The board has to make a decision as to whether they believe it's in the best interest of the district to do a national search, or if they believe it's in the best interest to stop it, to appoint me, and then to move forward with what's going on with Washoe County. And certainly, if they appoint, I'll say thank you very much and go on with the job. And if they don't, I'll apply and continue doing what I'm doing.
Let me ask you about growth. The number of schools needed in the coming 20 years is just phenomenal. How well prepared are we to address that situation, and do you think the public understands that they're going to need to put up a lot of dough?
I don't think they do, and I think partly that's our problem at the school district. We put forward a rollover bond that was passed, thankfully. And at the time, we made projections of what we would need. I believe there will not be enough money in the bond to meet all those needs that we have. And so the board and the leadership are going to have to make some strong decisions about how we're going to deal with that. I think we have to get the community better informed and the leaders more involved in sitting down with us, looking at the facts, and then coming up with a plan of how we're going to address it.
Paul, about growth, you may not have enough money for growth, but look at the other issues of school maintenance in the older schools. As you know, these older schools serve the poorer students in our community, and they don't have the same technology as the new schools. The classrooms are smaller, more crowded. The carpets are poor, a lot of broken windows. What can you do to appease these people and maybe balance, even the playing field between rich and poor in our district?
There's no doubt that there's a difference between the older schools and the newer schools, obviously. But it's not necessarily based upon poor versus not poor. We have to make a commitment to doing something with these older schools. The problem that we're having to deal with, and the board is having to deal with, is that we have decided to put our money so far into building new schools. And we've had to delay dealing with, as much as we would like to, with the older schools. I think we need to change that priority. We need to put more priority on the older schools and bringing them as much as we can up to speed. But that is a real issue because there is not enough money to do what we have to do with regards to older schools and with growth.
What do you look at with property tax caps? Does this scare the heck out of you?
It does.
And a brief answer, please. We're almost out of time.
We don't have all the facts, but we are very concerned, and we will be following that closely and certainly sharing our opinion when we have the information.
Paul Dugan, thank you so much for being here. We hope to have you back here, superintendent or not, but best of luck. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers with the Pundits after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
When you need a new employee, How can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
Are you ready to experience Reno's ultimate lobster buffet? Then bring your appetite to the El Dorado, where we're serving a half pound of slipper lobster tail for just $5 with the purchase of a dinner buffet. Catch it every night of the week. Are you in?
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we welcome to the Pundit panel, joining Ray and I, Bob Crowell with the Crowell Group and former Assemblyman Jason Geddes. Welcome to the program, both of you.
Morning.
Morning. You want to launch in?
Well, tomorrow night with the Washoe County School Board, they could vote to make take Paul Dugan from interim superintendent to just the superintendent. I think it'd be a really good idea. He has the backing of the minority community leaders. He is getting out in the community, meeting people, tackling their issues head on. And if the trustees fail to do that and bring someone else in, then it's going to, no matter who it is, it's going to take about a year for him to get acquainted with the district. This district is moving so fast and so furious with issues like growth and construction of schools. I think it would be a wasted year for anyone new to come in here.
Okay, but Bob, now I'm in favor of promoting from within, but is there something in favor of going outside of the district?
I think that you have to be, school districts always plan for who their successor is. If you're a good superintendent, if you're a good manager, you're planning for who your successor is. There are a couple ways to do that. One is to grow within, and generally I fall down on that side of the line, but I'll tell you, the other side is take a look at what's out there in terms of talent and what's going on around the rest of the country, and you can't go too far wrong with that. But if you've got someone who is credible, responsible, already on your team and already built in, that's what management is about moving that person forward. I mean, it's about grooming.
And he's just done an excellent job since he took over as interim, and I haven't heard any complaints anywhere about him. He's just stepped in and he knows the issues, he responds very well to it, he'd be good. And I always favor national searches or regional searches myself to look at what's out there and what candidates are available, but I think he would rise to the top of that list.
Well, I think his biggest concern is going to be marketing. He has to market the fact that the school district is doing what it should be doing. It deserves to have the increases in money it's going to need to be able to build these schools and to refurbish the older schools. But as I said earlier, I love to see people promoted from within. It just is an inspiration for all of us to just work a bit harder. I want to change topics here. Tommy Thompson stepping down as the Secretary of Health and Human Services last week, and hadn't mentioned this during his term, but said that the nation's food supply is at great risk to the terrorists. Is this a smart thing to go on the air and just blurt out? Well, concerned about our food?
One, I don't think we're ever hurt by disclosure. I was kind of, it was kind of refreshing to hear that come out. It was also not so refreshing to have him come back and say, well, maybe I made an error in saying, being so strident about that. But I don't think, the way my own view is the way to wage war on terror is one, with a gun and a bullet, but the other is through education. And I don't think you can go wrong on doing that.
And believe me, the terrorists know it's susceptible. They know the water supply is susceptible. They know the food supply is susceptible. They know there are a lot of issues and risks out there, the air supply. There are a lot of opportunities. They are aware of them. If we're not aware of them, we're not combating the problem, and we will be caught off guard again.
Well, we don't need to give them any new ideas. Now,
they have the ideas.
Well, the key thing here, if we have a plan in place to protect our food supply, perhaps a secret plan when he stepped down, I don't see anything wrong in mentioning this. But if we don't have a plan, then I think it was idiotic.
Well, this goes back to the same scare tactics that we saw leading up to the election here, which is that we come out with all these threats, but we're not really coming out with solutions. We elevate the Homeland Security color code, and what are we supposed to do? Check under our hamburger to make sure the tomato is good, to have a little testing kit? I mean, it's scaring people, but I don't see the solution. And the other thing, by the way, that concerns me is that we're alerting all of our domestic potential terrorists to the same threat.
Well, Sam, what it does, it increases the job market for food tasters. And we do need
which has been a profession.
But the domestic terrorists are there. If you've ever read the book Germs and you look at the poisoning that was going on up in Oregon when they were trying to take over the city council and the county commission races, where they went into the local restaurants and just spread toxins that they had grown in their barn lab into the salad bars and into the all-you-can-eat buffets. I mean, it is easy to do. The knowledge is out there. The people who have the intent can pick it up very easy and do it. We need to get everybody else concerned about it. The general public needs to be concerned so that when you start debating, hey, we need to take action, people believe it's real.
Listen, if you could also see, talk about what Ray said, if you're worried about poisoning our food, just look what happened in Ukraine with Yushchenko. I mean, here's a guy who goes to dinner, takes some soup, I guess, and has dioxin poisoning. I mean, pretty scary stuff.
Either dioxin poisoning or the worst case of acne I have ever seen.
That's right.
I guess my big point about this is, if Tommy Thompson knew this and felt this way, why couldn't he have said it at the beginning of his term instead of as he's walking out the door? I mean, it just tries to...
Well, I think that's a fair point.
Yes.
Another thing that came up out of the New York Times under the column, "Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid." Hardee's, the hamburger chain, has come out with a monster thick burger. This is Angus beef slabs, bacon, American cheese, and mayonnaise on a buttered sesame seed bun, 1,420 calories, and 107 grams of fat. And the quote here is, "Quite possibly one of the most lethal pieces of food out there." Isn't there got to be a responsibility in the fast food industry to start figuring out that this isn't the way to go?
They just told you how much fat and how much calories are in it. You've got the information you need. We don't need somebody to tell me what to eat and what not to eat. I want to eat the burger.
You want
minus the bacon.
Okay.
I'll eat the burger. I'm going to get on the treadmill afterwards, though. Maybe the next day.
I don't know, though. At some point in time, though, I know there's litigation goes on about how we deal with the fast food industry. And I will tell you, I think that this type of thing leads to lawsuits, not in terms of a particular injury, but in terms of affecting social change. And this type of food production, with that level of calories, just leads to fuel to the fire. Hey, we got to do something about this.
Yeah, but
no one has to eat this burger. I mean,
it's your choice.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers. More on this later.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Ken Dillon, owner of Van Dyne Roofing, can get it fixed with his eyes closed.
Coming up on Nevada Newsmakers tomorrow, former Governor Bob Miller, and on Wednesday, State Controller Kathy Augustine. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you then.